The First World War was a global conflict that engulfed nations from every corner of the globe. It forever changed the course of human history, altering borders, economies, and societies. Canada, a young nation on the world stage, played a pivotal role in the Allied victory, demonstrating its growing influence and determination. Over 600,000 Canadians served in the Canadian Expeditionary Force, a testament to their unwavering commitment to freedom and democracy. These brave men and women left their homes and families to fight for a cause greater than themselves. From the muddy trenches of the Western Front to the strategic halls of power in Europe, Canadians left an indelible mark on the war effort. Their contributions were felt in every major battle and campaign. Their courage and sacrifice helped shape the outcome of the conflict and solidify Canada's place as a respected member of the international community. The bravery displayed by Canadian soldiers earned them a reputation for tenacity and resilience. Thousands of young Canadians made the ultimate sacrifice, their names forever etched in history. These fallen heroes are remembered and honored in countless memorials across the country. The war had a profound impact on Canadian society, shaping its national identity, economy, and place in the world. The experiences of the war years influenced Canadian culture, politics, and social structures. The sacrifices made and the lessons learned continue to resonate today, reminding us of the importance of peace and freedom. The legacy of those who served is a powerful testament to the enduring spirit of Canada. When Britain declared war on Germany on August 4, 1914, Canada, as a dominion of the British Empire, was automatically at war. This meant that Canada was thrust into the global conflict without hesitation or choice. Thousands of young Canadians, eager to serve their country and support the British Empire, flocked to recruiting stations. They were driven by a sense of duty, adventure, and patriotism. Within a month, over 32,000 Canadians had enlisted in the Canadian Expeditionary Force. These men were quickly trained and prepared for the grueling battles ahead. By the end of 1915, that number had swelled to over 250,000. The surge in enlistment reflected the growing commitment of Canadians to the war effort. Canadians from all walks of life answered the call, united in their determination to defend their values and support their allies. This diverse group included people from various ethnic backgrounds and professions. The Canadian government, under Prime Minister Sir Robert Borden, mobilized the nation's resources for war. This included not only manpower but also economic and industrial resources. Factories were retooled to produce munitions, with many women stepping into roles traditionally held by men to support the war effort. Meanwhile, farms ramped up production to feed the troops, ensuring that soldiers had the necessary supplies to sustain them on the front lines. By the war's end, over 620,000 Canadians had served, earning a reputation for their tenacity and courage. Their contributions were significant, and their sacrifices were remembered as a defining moment in Canadian history. In the spring of 1917, Canadian troops were tasked with capturing Vimy Ridge, a heavily fortified German position that had been a strategic stronghold for the Germans. The Battle of Vimy Ridge, which began on April 9, 1917, became one of the most iconic and defining battles in Canadian military history, symbolizing bravery and strategic prowess. The Canadians, under the leadership of Lieutenant General Sir Arthur Currie, meticulously planned the assault. They employed innovative tactics and new technologies such as the creeping barrage to outmaneuver the enemy. The attack, launched on Easter Monday, was a resounding success, showcasing the determination and skill of the Canadian forces. Despite fierce German resistance and challenging conditions, the Canadians captured the ridge in just 3 days, a feat that many thought impossible. The victory at Vimy Ridge came at a heavy cost, with over 3,500 Canadians killed and over 7,000 wounded. The sacrifices made by these brave soldiers were immense. It marked a coming of age for Canada on the world stage, solidifying its national identity and earning it newfound respect among the Allied nations. The Canadian National Vimy Memorial stands as a solemn reminder of the sacrifice. It honors the memory of those who fought and died, ensuring their legacy endures for future generations. While Vimy Ridge represented a triumphant moment, the Battle of Passchendaele stands as a stark reminder of the brutal realities of war. The battle, fought for over 3 months in the fall of 1917, was a desolate wasteland of mud and craters. Canadian troops, already exhausted, were tasked with capturing heavily defended German positions. The fighting was horrific, with relentless artillery fire, machine gun fire, and poison gas. The incessant rain turned the battlefield into a sea of mud, making movement nearly impossible. Over 16,000 Canadians became casualties at Passchendaele, with over 4,000 losing their lives. The battle became a symbol of the futility and brutality of war. It stands in stark contrast to the triumph at Vimy Ridge. Amidst the horrors of the Western Front, a profound sense of camaraderie and brotherhood emerged among the soldiers. Canadian soldiers, often fighting alongside their British counterparts, forged unbreakable bonds. The shared experience of combat created a unique and unbreakable bond between soldiers. They relied on each other for survival and support. Canadian soldiers earned the respect and admiration of their British comrades. Letters and diaries from the front are filled with accounts of camaraderie and deep friendships. They shared rations, cigarettes, stories, and fears, maintaining their sanity in the face of unimaginable horrors. These bonds of brotherhood, forged in the fires of war, would last a lifetime. The personal stories of Canadian soldiers during the First World War provide a poignant glimpse into the realities of life and death on the front lines. Preserved in letters, diaries, and memoirs, their words offer a powerful testament to the human cost of war. Soldiers describe the horrors they witnessed, the constant fear, and the stench of death. They wrote of their longing for home and loved ones. Amidst the despair, there were also glimmers of hope, humor, and humanity. Soldiers wrote of acts of kindness, camaraderie, and finding solace in music and poetry. These personal accounts bring history to life, giving a voice to those who experienced the war firsthand. They offer valuable insight into the thoughts and experiences of those who served. The First World War had a profound and lasting impact on Canadian society. The war touched the lives of virtually every Canadian, transforming the nation's economy and social fabric. The return of over 60,000 veterans, many scarred physically and emotionally, presented significant challenges. The war effort led to a dramatic expansion of the Canadian government's role in the economy. The war also accelerated the growth of Canadian industry, particularly in manufacturing and resources. However, the war exacerbated existing social and political divisions within Canada. The conscription crisis of 1917 deeply divided English and French Canadians. The war's impact on the lives of women was significant, challenging traditional gender roles and contributing to the movement for women's suffrage. The sacrifices made by Canadians during the First World War left an indelible mark on the nation's consciousness. The loss of over 60,000 lives cast a long shadow over the post-war years. Memorials were erected across Canada, serving as gathering places for remembrance and reflection. The Canadian National Vimy Memorial became a pilgrimage site for Canadians. Remembrance Day, observed annually on November 11th, became a national day of mourning and remembrance. The poppy serves as a visual reminder of the sacrifices made and the importance of never forgetting. The legacy of Canada's participation in the First World War extends beyond memorials, shaping the country's national identity and commitment to peace. The First World War marked a turning point in Canada's development as a nation. The war effort fostered a growing sense of national identity and unity. Canada's contributions to the Allied victory earned it respect and recognition on the international stage. Prior to the war, Canada's foreign policy was largely dictated by Great Britain. The war led to a push for greater autonomy within the British Empire. In 1919, Canada gained a separate seat in the League of Nations. The war also strengthened Canada's relationship with the United States, developing closer economic and military ties. The First World War was a transformative event in Canadian history, shaping the nation's identity and values. The sacrifices made by Canadians left an indelible mark on the national consciousness. From the trenches of the Western Front to the halls of power in Europe, Canadians played a pivotal role in the Allied victory. Their courage and sacrifice helped solidify Canada's place as a respected member of the international community. The war's legacy continues to resonate today, reminding us of the importance of remembrance and striving for a more peaceful world. The stories of those who fought and died serve as a powerful testament to the human spirit. Section 11, Bibliography. Cook, Tim. At the sharp end, Canadians fighting the Great War 1914 to 1916, Toronto, Viking Canada 2007, Cook, Tim, Shock Troops, Canadians fighting the Great War 1917 to 1918. Toronto, Viking Canada 2008, Granitstein, JL Canada's Army waging war and keeping the peace, Toronto University of Toronto Press 2002, Nicholson GWL Canadian Expeditionary Force 1914 to 1919, Ottawa Queen's Printer 1962, Morton Desmond, When Your Number's Up, The Canadian Soldier in the First World War, Toronto Random House 1993, Dan Cox, Daniel G. Welcome to Flanders Fields, the First Canadian Battle of the Great War, Ypres 1915, Toronto McClelland and Stewart 1988, Hayes, Jeffrey, Vimy Ridge, A Canadian Reassessment, Waterloo, Wilfrid Laurier University Press 2007.